Hello Buzzet fam and welcome back to a very special video. Today we're gonna have a look at my journal collection. You guys probably know that I'm a little bit of a stationery hoarder and I've been collecting journals, notebooks for a very long time, and today I just want to show to you all the journals and notebooks that I was able to find. So as you can see here, I have piles and piles here and on the back of journals, and I'm gonna switch the camera. I'm gonna put it up, and yeah, we're just gonna have a look at all of these. I'm not going to do a flip through of each journal because that's gonna take too long, but what I want to do is to give an explanation of what I use the journal for and also the dates, because some of these are pretty old and even I'm not sure when I actually used them. So yeah, with no further ado, let's just dive into this journal craziness. I'm going to start this journal journey with the journals that I used as my bullet journal. This is the very first one that I used. As you can see, I used it from September 2015 all the way till April 2016, and there is actually a flip through of this up on my YouTube channel. I have really great memories of this journal because that's where I started. As you can see, it was very simple. I was just using a ballpoint, nothing crazy, nothing fancy whatsoever. I also used this a lot as a diary because I was really used to writing diaries, and when I transitioned to bullet journaling, I was still into this habit of doing daily journaling. So that's why this was more of a hybrid bullet journal diary. My second bullet journal was a Leuchtturm 1917 too, and I used this from May 2016 all the way till November 2016. In this journal, I really started experimenting with different kind of spreads, with colors, with weekly spreads. As you can see here, these were my very first weekly spreads. I used spiral dexes for the very first time. I'm gonna flip through this real quick. This is also when I started my social media journey. See, this is my very first Instagram tracker when I got 100 followers on the 15th of August 2016. I was really having a lot of fun and just discovering, playing out with colors and discovering what worked for me, what I liked doing, what I enjoyed doing. And I'm sure that there is a flip through video of this journal as well. I'm gonna link it down below if you're interested. My third bullet journal was a Leuchtturm 1917 as well. We're using this beautiful apple color, green apple. And I used this from December 2016 all the way till April 2017. Here I started using the Calendex for the very first time and some other spreads that I still use up till now. It was a very creative moment in terms of bullet journaling for me, and my study log, and I feel here is where I came up also, yeah, with the Checker Life Check and my Ultimate Productivity Challenge. This is still one of my most creative journals, I'd say, because I was experimenting with all sorts of different spreads and ways to work with my journal, you know, be productive, always being colorful. As you can see, it's already way more colorful than my very first journal. And again, there is a flip through of this guy up on the channel. My fourth bullet journal was not a Leuchtturm 1917, it was this beautiful Scribbles That Matter. As you guys know, I loved this journal. Loved it. I used it from May 2017 all the way to August 2017. This journal is smaller than the Leuchtturm, so I used it up so quickly. In this journal, I set up for the very first time my mood grid, which so many people love up to this day. I remember it was summer, but I was working at the same time. I had time to like do nice spreads and, you know, be creative with my journal. Yeah, 3 months for a journal, it went by so fast. My fifth bullet journal is this Leuchtturm 1917 again, the copper one, and let me tell you, When I started it, I did not like it. I did not really like the quality paper for some reasons. And I remember when I set it up, I was thinking about actually switching to another journal. At the end, I ended up, enjoying this journal nevertheless. I used this journal from September 2017 all the way to February 2018, and I remember this being kind of a stressful period of time because of university and a lot of exams. So this journal wasn't the most creative, I'd say, the most innovative, but it was very useful, which is the most important thing at the end of the day. At this point, I was pretty confident with my setup, and so I wasn't really changing it that much from month to month. I would just keep it consistent and do what was working for me. A lot of weeklies, a lot of me planning and getting things done and surviving the semester, the university semester. My sixth bullet journal is, of course, my dingbats, which I loved so much. This is one of my favorite journals that I've ever used. I used this journal from March 2018 all the way to August, if I'm not wrong. And I recently did a flip through of this guy, if you're interested. I was very happy with the quality paper and with how I used it in general. It was a very useful tool. I could not have survived university without it. Here, pretty consistently, I did weekly spreads for every single week of all those months so that I could plan ahead whatever I had to plan for the week. And of course, this is a journal that I used in Brazil, so I have a lot of memories linked to Brazil that are in this journal, from June to August. And now my seventh bullet journal is, of course, this rodeo mines. I've been posting a lot of pictures and recently posted a flip through up on my Instagram page if you want to have more information about it. But overall, I'm very happy with how it's turning out because I feel that I got to a point where I really know what works for me, and so I set up the pages that I really need, change my plan accordingly, and yeah, overall it's been a great productivity tool. I started this in September 2018 and I'm still using it. I plan on using it up till December so that I can start a new journal in January. Moving on, we have here a red Leuchtturm 1917 that I probably never shared with the world, but this was a journal that I used during my 2016 Asia trip. I went on a 2-month trip to Asia. I went to Turkey, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, China, like all across China, then back to Italy, and I was using this journal to plan things and also do some journaling and just keep track of a bunch of different things. When I zoom in here, as you can see, June 2016, I was keeping track of where I was. So as you can see, Paris, Istanbul, Xi'an, Suzhou, bunch of different places, Beijing, and I did this for June and July because that's where I was traveling. I kept track of finances, things that I wanted to bring, things that I wanted to bring back, and just information about my flights and journaling. And oh my god, let me show you these because these were insane. I did these remembering June, July pages, and I don't know why, since I had the whole journal, I only gave myself a tiny little place to write down, so I was writing down so tiny. Like, my writing is so tiny here, and I was struggling so much to actually fit things in here, which is so stupid, so stupid, because I could have had the whole journal. As you can see, I only had a black pen. Oh wow, what did we find here? Okay, I officially found something from 2001. 4th of June 2001. Oh my goodness. Today I didn't go to school because I was bored. Today is a very good day because I'm going to the swimming pool. Me journaling back in 2001. Also, my writing skills weren't that bad. 2001 I was what? I was 8, 8 years old. So as you can see, you have here the proof of me journaling when I was 8. Moving on, here we have a beautiful Rhodia gold book, and I'm using this gold book for my YouTube videos, because for a lot of videos I have to write down explanation for certain spreads, or I have to try out some products. So this is the journal that I'm using, and you guys have seen it in my videos. This pile here are journals / notebooks that I have, but that I have not started using them already. You may recognize some of these, of course. Here I have my Projo. I did a review a couple of days ago, so go check that out if you're interested. Here I have this beautiful Quarto notebook that I got in London. I have not used it yet, but it's just so beautiful. I got it as a gift for myself. I got it at Herbert Shop in London. I'm gonna leave the link down below. It's a small shop that had just opened when I visited last year, and they have beautiful, beautiful products. And this is one of those things that I just love having, but I don't know exactly what I'm gonna use for, because it looks just so beautiful. Then here I have another product that I got at Herbert Shop. It's a Stamford notebook. I wish you could actually touch the fabric here. It's so great. They're all handmade there, and it's a dotted notebook. I'm actually feeling kind of guilty for not doing a proper review of this guy. I have never used that, so I may probably do a review in the future. Hand-bound in Stamford, England. Moving on, we have here the brand new Dingbats from the Earth collection, as I haven't had time to actually do a review of it, but this is very likely going to be my next bullet journal starting from January 2019. Here I have another Leisure 1917. This is an official bullet journal. This is the one that I got with the bullet journal method, which I did the unboxing for 2 weeks ago, I believe. Next, I have this journal from Stationery Island. This is a prototype, so this has not been released yet, and I got a copy from Stationery Island because they asked my thoughts about this journal. Unfortunately, I've been pretty busy, so Stationery Island, if you're looking, I haven't really had time to get to your journal yet. I'm sorry. Then, of course, the bullet planner. There is a whole unboxing plus review video up on the channel if you have more information. I haven't really worked on this guy, in all honesty. I do see the benefits of this for planning for longer projects. But with university, me being abroad, coming back, finishing my last year of master, life has been pretty crazy. So I'm just keeping it right now, and I'll use it to plan for projects in the future. Next, here we have this beautiful notebook. You may have seen it in some of my Instagram pictures because I just love taking picture of the sky. It's so colorful. And back in the day when I was still going with Bujo Boosted, I wanted to use this in order to give some study life tips, and I only ended up doing, I think, yeah, 1, 2, 3 episodes of this. I really like the idea of it. So as you can see, what I wanted to do is in each episode to give 3 tips, and I really like the idea. But I never actually got to do more than 3 episodes. I may actually have to think about this and probably going back to this format, but with bullet journal tips. I don't know. Next here we have this set of notebooks from Laton. You can see there are 4 here. I have not used all of them, but recently I've been doing some brain dumps in this guy here, the green one, for the upcoming RPG game that I'll be working on. Some of you guys know that I'd love to develop my own video game, so I've been jotting down ideas here in this small notebook. I used the dotted one to jot down some bullet journal ideas, since it's a dotted one. I used this yellow one to do some brainstorming. Never got to use the blue one, and used this brown one as my bullet journal sidekick before I actually moved to a different sidekick that Caitlin designed for me. I also have this blue notebook from Laton that I used in Brazil to study. I did some note taking in this Laton notebook. Moving on, I have these notebooks here from Approach Tools. I used this one here, as you can see, it's all ugly and used. This was the one that I was using in Brazil at the lab so that I would keep track of all the tests and all the things that I had to do. As you can see, it's kind of messy, super ugly, but I was still using, you know, colors to make things more easier to understand and to read. And this other notebook here from Approach as well, I've been using it at university to just take some random notes. Here I have a small little guy from Legami that I got last year, I believe. I wanted to use this in order to plan for my YouTube videos, but life happened, and last year it was very hard at university, so I couldn't really focus on YouTube as I wanted to. I would use it to do some brain dumps, planning, and now what I did is that I repurposed. As you can see here, sketch journal. I repurposed this guy in order to do some sketching in this journal, so I can use this in order to sketch pages for new bullet journal spread ideas or just whatever I feel like sketching. Next, we have this beautiful journal from Claire Fontaine that I have decided to start using for university. So here I have some notes from my advanced solid-state physics class, and yeah, so as you can see, I have some notes here. I decided to really start using all the journals that I had at home, the blank ones, instead of just keep on getting more journals. So I think that I'm doing a pretty good job in terms of using up what I already have instead of just keep on buying new ones. The next journal I have is a Moleskine dotted journal, and this used to be my YouTube journal back in the day when I actually started my YouTube channel. So here we can find all of my quality tracking, quantity tracking, all the weekly spread ideas, the daily spread ideas. And I was also using this to just sketch stuff for my journal. And I went through almost all of it, I'd like to say. I didn't really enjoy the quality of the paper. The Moleskine paper isn't really that good. It's 70 grams per square meter, if I remember it right. But you know, as a sketching journal, worked just perfect. So the next ones are all sort of like random journals, notebooks that I just found at my place. Some of these are very old, others are new. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into a specific order. This tiny little guy here, let me zoom in, as one of the diaries that I used to use in Hungary. So you can see here, I used this from the 21st of February to 2011 all the way. Let me zoom back. So you can see I was writing super tiny, and I filled in every single page of this guy. I'm so proud of it. Looks so beautiful. And I used it up till May 2011. So 3 months, I'd say, and I constantly had it with me. I always had to write something down. I would take it and write it. Loved it. The small guy here, it's an Oxford planner, so it's like one of those regular planners, and I used this in 2014 to just plan out for work, basically. So when I was working, how many hours, and just check whether I was getting paid according to the exact number of hours I was working. Nothing special really with this. This other guy, as you can see, I was really into small notebooks. This is another diary that I used, oh my, I don't even remember. As you can see, I bought this in 2009, so 9 years ago, my goodness. And I used it from the 9th of September 2009 all the way through August 2010, I'd say. Yeah, August 2010. So there's almost a year. I wasn't really consistently writing in it every single day, but I did some journaling whenever I felt like doing some. Also, I really love the cover here. Back in the day, I was still studying piano and music composition, so that's actually why I had chosen this guy here. The next one is a diary again that I started in 2012 here, 6th of January 2012. I was really into journaling, like daily journaling as much as I could. And I finished this on June 2012. So January 2012 up till June 2012. Really love the cover here as well. This is The Kiss. Next here we have another planner from Legami that I was trying to use before, actually, I believe, before I switched to a bullet journal. So I was using this since 2015, so that's when I actually started using my bullet journal. So yeah, at some point I had both. I had this guy and the bullet journal, and at some point I just stopped using it. And this is such a waste of paper that I have to someday find a new purpose for this. Moving on, I have this beautiful notebook from Paper Blanks that I got for my birthday. I love the Asian vibes. You can see here. I'll show you the back as well, and I don't remember exactly what I used this for. Okay, here I wanted to use it for personal development, learning skill projects. So basically here I was doing some project planning and some journaling again, but I actually never really used it. I just realized that I have to give this beautiful notebook a purpose, so I'll probably get back to it and use it for something because it's too beautiful to stay blank. Next, I have this pretty ugly planner that I was using in China. I actually got it from my Chinese family. It was just a random planner that they had from the bank where the Chinese mom was working at, and actually I have a lot of memories about this guy because this is the one that I was using when I was in China. Little shout out to the live series that I'm doing right now for the Mega Boosted Patreons about my experience in China. We already did 2 episodes and it's so intense, so much drama, so many things going on. I'm gonna go through this real quick, but as you can see I did some journaling. And I wasn't that consistent. You can see there's some Chinese in here too. I wasn't like that consistent as much as I wanted, but it really helped me, especially through very stressful moments. As you can see here, I was doing some journaling in Chinese, and I actually even did some learning. Yeah, as you can see here. This is a whole page of me journaling in Chinese because I really like to use the language that I'm at to do journaling. So for example, in my journals from Hungary, I have a journal in Hungarian, and here in China, I was journaling in Chinese as much as I could. I'm going to flip through real quick. As you can see here, I was doing some note-taking for some chemistry because I was learning some chemistry in Chinese. The next guy here is a very tiny notebook that I used to do some journaling here. As you can see, from June 2012, I don't even remember, well, July 2012, so it's just a month, and then I didn't use it because I probably moved into a bigger journal, a different journal. But I really like the cover here. Moving on, this is such a beautiful notebook, as you can see, that I used to do some, it was my diary back in the day. Can we please talk about these rose leaves that are still here from 2010? And these were from a very cheesy teenage love. And I used this journal from May 2010 all the way till February 2011. So it was before going to Hungary and while I was in Hungary. I feel that this is the one that I started with in Hungary. Again, as you can see, it's a quick flip through. I finished all of it. The next thing here is sort of a planner that I don't remember what I got, but I used it to do some journaling before going to China. Here we have August 17th of August 2012. So I was going to get to China because I got to China end of August, and I never really finished it. Used up till here, but these are still like very important journaling pages. Here I have a red Moleskine, if I remember it right, and this is a planner that I used in 2015, right before starting my very first bullet journal, actually. So I was using it as a planner, as you can see here, a lot of blank space, which is one of the reasons why I didn't really like this kind of system, and that's why I eventually moved into a bullet journal. As you can see here, that's where I started actually doing some brainstorming from my very first bullet journal. Here, bullet journal ideas back in 2015, before I had even started a bullet journal. Next, we have another small little diary here, so beautiful. I believe this is from Hungary again. So from May 2011, all the way, you can see this is all filled in, all the way till July 2011. In 2011, I did so much journaling. I believe I have journaling for almost every single day of 2011, which is when I was in Hungary. Next, we have this tiny little guy, this Rhodia notebook that I had got for learning Korean. And actually, this was a big failure because I didn't have time to work on it. As you can see, I had started with the alphabet and I wanted to move on and like actually work on the classes, and I never got to do it. So it's a shame, but you know, it's here. So whenever I decide to go back and learn Korean, I know that this will be waiting for me. Next, I have this agenda from 2014 with a Mickey Mouse on it. A friend of mine had got it, and Disneyland, if I'm not wrong, and I believe I never used it. Is there something that I used in here? No, never. I actually feel bad for this guy, but what am I supposed to do with it? I also have this other one here from Disneyland in Paris that I did some journaling in, actually, not as much. February 2014 all the way to April 2014, and then I stopped using it, probably moved to another journal, I don't remember. Also, this was kind of weird because you had these kind of pages up till the middle of the journal, and then it changed. Like, I don't get the point in this. Here I have a mostly blank journal that I have to find a purpose for at some point. Next, we have this notebook that I got back in the day when I started doing social media, and I was using it to practice my lettering, as well as doing some randoms for YouTube. As you can see here, video ideas, and just jot down things. Here is actually where I designed for the very first time my checker life check and new stuff for my bullet journal. There's still a lot of blank pages though, so I may have to probably tear these pages and like use the paper, but just find a way to, you know, use this paper. Next, we have the small Clairefontaine notebook that I remember using it after reading Getting Things Done from David Allen, and I got so inspired that I wanted to have a separate notebook to apply his steps on productivity that he talked about in his book. I also used it to, again, jot down ideas and think about how I wanted to use my bullet journal. Also, at some point, I used it for some Chinese. It was sort of like a random notebook that I had for a bunch of stuff. I really like to have a place where I can write whatever whenever I feel like writing something. This journal here is a gift that I got from a friend of mine when I was in Beijing, and I never really used it that much. I was using it towards the end of my stay in China, and as you can see here, I was collecting useful information for university. I really liked this craft paper here. And as you can see, most of the notebook I did not use, so I'm gonna have to find a use for this one as well. Here I got this shiny notebook as a present, and I never really used it. This is one from Hema, and I don't know. I'll have to find a purpose for this again. I guess we all have at least one of these shiny notebooks that someone gave us and we never used, right? And finally here, I want to finish with this notebook, which is one that I used to use a long time ago. I can even remember, at least 10 years ago. And as you can see, I was using this to write, because I enjoy writing, and I enjoy, you know, coming up with ideas, storylines, plots, and this is the very first one that I did at least 10 years ago. Probably more than that, like 10, 11, 12 years ago. And yeah, I just wanted to show you this so that you guys could see that I've been, playing around with notebooks for a long time. I'm really into notebooks, journals, and all of that. I hope that you enjoyed the video and that this won't be like 2 hours long. Let me know in the comment down below what your thoughts are and what your favorite notebook is, and if you also have notebooks and diaries from a long time ago. And as usual, I hope that you guys have a great day and stay boosted. Bye.